What's up everybody, new book review on this channel again. So this time we're talking about the Book of Numbers by Aaron Clarey. Never read any books from this author before myself, I don't know much about him. But first thing I will say about this book, yeah, I would recommend reading it, but the message is a little bit pessimistic, if not even depressing, although you cannot blame him because it seems to be a little bit reality these days. So let me dive into that. But what might surprise you about this book is I thought like the Book of Numbers, analyzing the ROI on the pursuit of women, that this would be like some kind of pickup advice or dating advice, but it's actually just an essay, not a very long read actually. Just it's economics. He's an economist and he's calculating the ROI of pursuing women, and I think this gives pretty interesting and valuable insight into men's life, because a lot of us, because we're biologically wired to just chase women, we cannot help that. That's just in the biology. A lot of us waste immense amounts of time, money, opportunities in the pursuit of women. If you think about most men in their 20s, they're just chasing women, going on dates, spending money on cars and spending money on a bigger place or nice clothes, etc. All of that has, of course, an opportunity cost and costs in and of itself. And that's important to think about, because otherwise you might just mindlessly think that it's a good use of your time to go on dates all the time, etc. But apparently, based on his calculations, it's actually a very depressing rate or percentage that you eventually get to if your goal is to get happily married. So you're gonna find a woman who is willing to date you and marry you, and then you're gonna be happy in the marriage, and you're also not gonna have a divorce, because obviously you might have like a marriage that doesn't end up in a divorce, but it doesn't mean that it's a happy marriage. So yeah, it made me think about it like really seriously, like how much time and money do you want to spend actually on dating, especially in the modern world, because things have definitely changed. It's not the same kind of dating scene anymore as before, although a lot of men these days seem to be like super pessimistic about that and like super like sad that they're born in this time. But if you really think about it, it's not that bad. Like before 1850s, half of the people died before age 5, I believe, because of I forgot what was the disease, but there was the invention of I think antibiotics back then. Any of us watching this video wouldn't even be, I mean, half of us wouldn't be even alive back then watching this video, nor would you probably want to be a man. Just if I was a man 100 years ago, I probably would be in war against the Russians or something. So I'm not super sad about being born 100 years later either. So I don't want to take a pessimistic view. This book has a very pessimistic view. That's my only criticism of it. But otherwise, it's an interesting read. But yeah, back to the points, the ideas that I got from this book. By the way, if you're still watching this video, click like and subscribe. Would be really helpful. Would make me really happy that I'm not making these videos here just for myself and summarizing these books, but other people also liking watching this. So yeah, just to like kind of summarize for myself and you, like what were the main takeaways from this book, besides the review of like what did I like about this book, and kind of giving you a little bit of a video so you can kind of take a look and see like if you want to order this from Amazon or whatever. But yeah, the main point being, like, this is an interesting insight I got from this book. If you think about anything, like look out the window, look at anything you see outside of the window. Besides the sky there, is there anything that is not man-made or touched by man? Unless you're living in the countryside and you're seeing like a field or forest out of your window, you probably see, like me, you see houses, you see this community of homes here. I see some plants, I see a shower outside there, I see some equipment for cleaning the yard, some chairs, gym bag. All of those things are touched by man. And have you ever considered why is that? Do men just want to like make gym bags or do they just want to make chairs just for no reason? Most of the things you see around you, even in the room and everything, they're man-made. You have an iPhone, you have a television, you have things, you have clothes because a man had the drive to go create something, to build wealth, to become more successful, to increase his chances with women, to become more attractive in women's eyes. So for men, it seems like a lot of men are dedicating their whole lives to the pursuit of women. And that's a little bit backwards, because if you think about it, again, the chances being in the like less than 1%, based on this calculation in the book, that you're going to have a happy marriage. If that's the goal, then you are kind of like, you're playing lottery. And I'm not saying that that's not the point, but it's just backwards. If you're like kind of, you're living your life for women, that's not the thing that you want to do. That's not the goal here, because you got to understand like the statistics are just not in your favor. So yes, do those things, pursue your excellence, be good at a career, get in shape, do a lot of things, but you got to also have an element of doing it for yourself, because again, a lot of the things you see around you, it's probably a lot of them created by a man who just really wanted to build things, become more wealthy in order to be more attractive to a woman. Maybe he didn't have much success with women, and he decided that he's going to build a huge business empire or something, and that was the result of the company that builds the televisions or the mobile phones or whatever you see technology in your house. And that's great, that's necessary. Like, of course you want that there is a sidewalk to walk on. Of course you want to have a roof over your head. Of course you want these things. So all the power to those men who are doing that, but the element should be there also that you're not just doing it for women. You should be doing it to live your best life also, to be the best version of yourself, for yourself as well, not just for women. Because if you look at the modern world, there's a few problems with dating these days, because first of all, if you look at the women out there, that was the first problem. Like, what are you going to get? A lot of women are overweight. A lot of women are single moms, so they only have a kid, and no man really wants to take care of another man's kid, if they're planning to have their own kids, especially. And no man also really wants a woman who has a bunch of tattoos or who has debts, who's going to bring financial burdens to you. They don't want women who have STDs. So there's a lot of women who men don't really find attractive or want anyways. So the pool gets immediately smaller. But then also you got to also put in the costs. Like, what are you actually going to put in as the costs? And that's not necessarily like building the business, and of course men do that also to have more success with women, feel financial, build up their finances, whatever, get the better car, build their business, get in shape. A lot of men do that for women. It's kind of natural. But where was I going with this? There's of course the costs that you also have to calculate in, that you're going to have to like probably drive to that date, you're going to spend the gas, you're going to spend money on the drinks or food, you're going to spend your time that you could have used on other things, maybe working. The money you spend on all of those things, maybe you could have put it on in an index fund, S&P 500. Now your wealth would be building instead of wasted. And I'm not completely agreeing on that, of course, because not dating in your 20s would not be a wise decision either, I think, because if you have no experience with women at all, and then you just think you're gonna find the perfect person, that's even more delusional. So I don't see like dating experience and spending a little bit of time and money on women as that negative of a thing. But if you still think about it, like if you didn't do it, of course there was the opportunity cost of investing it. But yes, I wouldn't eliminate women from your life. Like, going on a date with a pretty girl can really, like, it's what you're supposed to do with a man, so you're gonna get that motivation from it and the drive and everything, and spending a little bit of time and money on it is not, in my belief, a waste. But on the other hand, if you think about it, you probably don't want to just go out with some random girl again who is like probably carrying all the debt from some worthless degree, or who is just not a good match, who is negative person, maybe crazy a little bit in the head, or maybe has completely opposing beliefs and everything. Like, don't waste time and money on that kind of woman. Like, you have to be smart about it and kind of filter out the woman who you actually go on a date and then just date those select few that you're actually seeing as worthwhile spending your time and money on. But again, so there's a lot of costs, and not all of them are financial, not all of them are like the expensive dinner you went to, but there's also the costs of actually dating a woman again who is like a psychopath or has bipolar disorder. That's gonna leave a lot of bad experience on you and maybe even trauma. It's not necessarily that all of the experiences with women that you're gonna have are going to be positive. They're gonna be some kind of traumatic ones, and that is a cost also. Like, do you necessarily want to have that experience? So you need to be wise and thinking like, am I going to pursue a relationship with this particular woman? Because there's a huge downside besides just paying for the dinner. There might be the psychological damage it does to you, and like after the breakup, like how much, or the divorce, how much damage that is going to do to a man to divorce from a woman and see them with another man, or not be able to see their kids. That is a huge cost. So I think the main point of this book is actually like, if you calculate like what you're going to get, that you're most likely not going to even get the woman who is even physically that attractive or psychologically stable, then do you really want to pursue marriage in that kind of setup? And so I think the main point of this book is like, maybe marriage is not for everybody. It doesn't say that you cannot go on dates or you're not going to have some short-term relationships or something, but the point is more like, if you want a happy marriage, that is almost like, I don't know what is a good example, like that's kind of like playing lottery, because it's just so rare that it happens. And if you have a happy marriage, you should treat it like it's something very precious, because it's very rare. What else in this book? So yeah, again, like I say, it's not the worst time to be alive, definitely, but it has impacted the dating scene a lot, the online dating, the Instagrams and everything. So that seems like it's a lot more favorable for women, the online world, than for men. First of all, like 80% of men are deemed below average by women, which doesn't make any sense. Below average should be like, shouldn't it be 50% of people? Anyways, but most men are deemed unattractive by women. Most women swipe left on Tinder and profiles. And then of course, what men want mostly is sex. That's what they crave, but women actually crave more attention. Women don't have the same amount of testosterone as men. Men have 9 or more times more sex drive than women. So men are going to want sex more than women. What women want more than men is attention. The problem being, when you're using those dating apps and you're swiping everyone right, you're giving them the attention that, oh, this guy liked me, this guy liked me. Then they go into Instagram, they're gonna post there a picture of themselves, they're gonna get likes from men, they're gonna get comments with heart eyes and fire and, oh, you're so beautiful, love you. They're gonna get all of those. And by the way, if you're doing that, please, like, can you just stop doing that? Like, don't be a simp and don't do that on Instagram or women's profiles. Leave heart eye comments and hearts or something there, because what's the point? They're not going to be attracted to you because of that, and you're just kind of like contributing to this thing which causes women to like get all their attention from like Instagram and these dating apps, and they don't actually need to like get it from men anymore in real life. So let me open the door for my dog actually, because she wants in. I'm gonna continue this video. Okay, let's continue. My dog got inside the house. Yes, so that is very problematic when you think about the fact that some women who are pretty, then they can get millions of followers, they get all this attention and validation, and they don't even need to see a single man in person to get that. Before, it used to be the fact that if a woman wanted to be validated by a man or get the attention of a man, they would actually need to go at least on a date with the man or talk to a man on the street or something in the social locations, bars, somewhere. But currently, all they need is Instagram and they can be fairly satisfied with their lives. Of course, women still also want sex, but not as much as men. And it's very easy for them to get sex if they want, because if you look at the pretty girls' Instagram DMs, you're probably gonna find like literally like the same amount of messages as you as a man. You probably get some spam from like accounts from India or something, like you get a bunch of like spam in your inbox. That's probably the same for a pretty woman in their inbox. They're gonna, if they want to go out with a man, they can just respond to one of those DMs, or they can go to the online dating apps and they can just swipe right on a few people, and it's not hard for a woman these days to find a date or sleep with a man. For men, and I understand if some men can be a little bit bitter about it and very negative about it, because it's the dating apps, especially the online world, is very much against the average person, so it doesn't serve them. And yeah, it is a little bit depressing book, but I think you still need to take those rose-colored glasses off and just look at the world as it is. And yeah, I think the main kind of actual takeaway from this is don't sacrifice your whole life just for a woman, because you might not even get that result that you want. But also it's biologically in you that you're going to be wired and driven to pursue women, of course. So do it in a way that really leaves a legacy and makes your life worthwhile. Of course, that doesn't mean that this book might make a lot of men just completely give up, just play video games, watch pornography or something, and just give up on women completely and not even ask anyone out anymore. That definitely shouldn't be the point. But build your legacy, do the thing that you're passionate about, and enjoy your life. And the great thing about that is you're probably attracting more women into your life that way, because you're getting in shape, you're building a business, or you're pursuing the career that you're passionate about, or actually contributing to the world, and whatever that might be for you. And so instead of chasing women, you're going to do that, because chasing women doesn't really ever work anyways. If you focus on yourself, you're going to be more attractive and you're going to have more success with women. The irony is, like he said in the book, in the end, that if you do that, if you live your life for yourself, you're probably more likely to find the woman that you like, because they see that you're a man on a mission, you have your own life, you enjoy it, and they're just an addition to the life. You're not needing them and chasing them, you are attracting them into that life that you're already enjoying. So yeah, that's it. That's for this book. Hope you liked this review and summary. Maybe you can let me know in the comments if you're going to get this book, or if you have read the book, give me your thoughts on it. Thanks for watching. Drop a like if you like this video. See you next time.